Going live. Hangout is now live. Hey, awesome. All right, so here we are. We are in student-led professional development for teachers and parents, and I am here with Lisa. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm
And what
Lisa
you do?
Delapo, and I teach at Holy Names High School in Oakland, California, and I'll be attending GTA MTV pretty soon.
Nice. And Catherine?
Hi, my name is Katherine Cabanas, and I teach middle school world history in Garden Grove, California.
Yay, you're like right by me.
Yeah, we've met before at a couple different ed camps and conferences, I think. Well, maybe not like face to face, but your face is very familiar.
It's just it's the glasses. All right, well, this is awesome. So why don't the two of you go ahead? We'll start, Lisa, with you. And what do you want to ask about? What do you know about? What are your ideas about student-led PD? Why don't we focus on teachers first? So
Okay.
using students.
I use students to do a program called the Digital Divas. I work in an all-girls school, and so the Digital Divas go, and they're actually presenting at California, the Gay Summit, California, and they do Google Apps like 101. So they've presented at Roseville and Napa Valley, and they're members of Q now, so they can present at Q. And I just want to get more ideas of how people are doing it, and are they charging? Are they just doing it for fun? Are they doing it as a club? How are people integrating that into their school day?
Okay. And then I'm going to. I already have a bunch of questions for you, but let's go ahead and Catherine, what are you kind of basics of either questions or knowledge about student-led PD for teachers?
Well, I'm actually, like you, I have a lot of questions on, the logistics. How do you, roll that out? Because I've been doing a lot of the PD for the teachers on my campus just because I love technology, and we don't have a very big technology department in my district, so it's really just left up to the sites to kind of figure out what to do. And in using technology with the kids, because I have one-to-one iPads, I mean, I already have kids that will just jump in and do stuff if I don't know, because I don't know all the tools when I roll it out with my kids. I really rely on them to kind of teach each other, so I really want to know how I can take that to the next level, because I think if the teachers can see that the kids can do it, maybe it'll be less scary for them to kind of jump in and try these tools.
Okay, great. Hey, just so you know, we have a question from Natalie McCaleb, and Natalie, you were supposed to be in here with us. We've actually sent you an invite. So if you look in if you're in Google Plus, Natalie, and you just look for your notifications in Google Plus, you'll see an invite from me, and you just click on the little green thing, and you can join the conversation with us. You don't have to watch from your screen. Okay, so sorry, I was like setting up the Q. Can you guys see the Q&A here, or is it just me that sees this?
I think
See how there's a little Q&A on the left there, and if you click on the Q&A, anybody who's watching this live, they can actually send us questions, and then we can answer those questions. Do you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, all right, great. Just making sure. Okay. Okay, so Catherine, say that last thing again, whatever your last sentence or two was. Sorry about that.
Oh, well, I'm actually just hoping to get some ideas on how I can have kids help out with the PD, because I figured if the teachers can see that the kids know how to do it, then maybe they won't be as hesitant to adopt it themselves, because we have a staff where a lot of them are just really afraid to try things, and I realize this technology is out of a lot of people's comfort zones, but if kids can kind of do it, I'm hoping that will motivate teachers to integrate technology into their classroom.
Okay, perfect, great. So, Lisa, why don't you go ahead and tell us how the Digital Divas got started and how many people are in it and kind of what they do right now.
Okay, so it started out, we have this thing called mid-session, which is a week right after Christmas break. And it's a week where we pretty much close the school and let the students pick courses that they would like to take. And so there's like a ski trip, there's camping, there's home ec, there's guitar lessons, driver's ed, and I wanted to go to the Google Apps Summit in Napa Valley, and it was like, how do I get out of teaching and get to go to PD. And so my principal and my assistant principal was like, why don't you just take the kids with you? So I was like, So Sergio Villegas, who works in Napa, was actually one of the people running the Google Apps Summit for Napa Valley, and I asked him how could I get students to come and actually present, and he was like, that's a great idea. So I trained them the week of mid-session, and then on that Thursday and Friday they presented at Roseville. I mean, I'm sorry, at Napa Valley GAFE. And so I basically told them pick a Google app they really, really like and become the guru. And so for 3 days, at 8 hours straight, they each day they learned, and they like went to Caitlin Tucker's blog. I mean, they looked up all of the pros that were out there and basically studied off of what their ideas, and then they presented them on how they would use it. So It's kind of like student-led, student-centered professional development.
And who paid for this?
It's part of mid-session, so it was free.
Okay. So, but I mean, like, they stayed in a hotel, right, or no?
We're in the Bay Area, so Napa Valley is only like an hour away, so we drove every day.
Oh, so you just drove every day. Okay. And, okay, what about paying for food or the van or whatever?
The school has a van, so we use that, but we can also take our own cars. We just have to make sure that we're covered under the school insurance.
Okay.
So food was already provided by, because they were presenters, so they had free entry and free food.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no cost involved.
Okay, just making sure, so people who are thinking about doing something like this, like it's a really neat idea. I know at our school, I had a fellow teacher, JR, he started a Google Genius with a bunch of kids, and it was really just site-based PD. Because we were a GAFE school, and so when we first started doing GAFE about 3 years ago, the kids were around to kind of help out and stuff, but we really never stepped outside of the boundaries of the school, which I think are really awesome. So Lisa, what do you guys do, one, to document what the digital divas are doing? Is there a photographer who goes with them? Do they take
our marketing actually took pictures afterwards, but I took pictures during the event, and then a lot of it was already on Twitter. So they actually, for the school magazine, they actually took the Twitter picture and then put the Twitter feed on it.
Okay, and then what else did they do to publicize what they did besides the school newspaper? Do the girls have blogs at all? Did your district share things out?
So we're a private independent school, so there's no district. What we did after that was I actually got in touch with a couple of the principals from the local middle schools, and we kind of use it as a marketing / admissions type event.
Okay.
And we go and we do professional development for their teachers for the K through 8s.
Okay, great, cool. I would. All of my students blog, and that would be something that I think they would all want to crow about on one of their blogs, or just. Yeah. Or talk about, or reflect, or whatever. And I think that's just an amazing, and what a great thing to be able to put in a resume, to be able to put in college admissions, and instead of just talking about it, that they could see pictures, right? Like it's, and so people can actually see what they did. That's really cool.
And every time we've gone to a major Google Apps event, we get a picture with the keynote.
Okay.
So the girls with the keynote. So they have one with. The guy who does search. I can't remember his name. Terrible. He's like their favorite, and they've got his picture. They've got one with Ken Shelton.
Okay.
Like Ramsey Masalam. They just like they know because they've read all about these ed tech people, and they're like, I want to get my picture taken. So that's the actual they tweet those out.
I was just thinking that. So how much time did these girls spend researching this before they?
24 hours.
Right, and so I was just trying to think of how many teachers spend 24 hours learning about a tech, reading blog posts, knowing things where they would actually know these people by name and by face, and that's like one just takeaway right there is how can you get people so excited that they're willing to do something like this? It's pretty awesome.
And it's funny, the teachers are really, really receptive to my students doing the PD because they don't feel threatened, and they feel like, oh, well, if it makes you learn, because all of the students that I also take on these usually have, the ones who are the major presenters actually have learning disabilities. So they actually talk about their learning disabilities when they present, and so that's how they kind of draw in the teacher to be a better teacher.
So, Lisa, are your students presenting at a faculty meeting or collaboration? You know, because you mentioned the teachers at your school, right? The students are doing PD with them?
They do some.
Okay, so when is that happening?
We have a thing called Teach Tech Tuesdays. And so after school for an hour to an hour and a half, the teachers can come and learn a new tool, and my digital divas teach them.
Okay, and does your school pay for the teachers to stay after, like a stipend, or it's just because they love technology?
It's really volunteer basis for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, we have money set aside, or we had money set aside for PD after school, which is how teachers were coming to my PD that I was doing with a colleague, and hopefully the money will still be there. I mean, who knows with education, but that's how we get our teachers there, because otherwise I don't know if they'd be able or if they'd be willing to come, unfortunately. I mean,
yeah,
that's how it is.
It is an interesting scenario when you have teachers who don't want to come because they're not getting paid. But fortunately, we've had a lot of luck with my divas going to the K through 8s to do the PD. We push into their classroom and teach while the teacher's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
That is awesome. David, I have a question about what JR was doing.
Okay.
No, you said his students were doing PD at his school about Genius Hour?
Right, and which is at my school too, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, you're at Fountain Valley, right?
Yes.
So were the kids doing it during faculty meetings or after school, or how did that happen?
No, you know what it was? It was on-demand PD. So teachers could actually sign up if there was something that they wanted to learn, and then the students would go out to the teacher before school, at lunch, after school, or if somehow they had an opening during, like, maybe they were, I don't know, had a kind of an open period during the teacher's prep period, they would do it. It actually, I can't remember if it lasted, I think it lasted 2 years, but it kind of petered out a little bit, and probably mostly because people got really comfortable with the tools, and there wasn't really that next level, you know, the next level deeper or anything else that kind of went on. Like, everybody was just kind of like, okay, I know how to send email and do a Google Doc and things like that, and they were kind of good to go. Like, this is all I really need to know about, and they didn't really go to that next level at all. So, but there, you know, really we'd have to talk to JR to find, like, that's just me presuming. I don't really know for sure kind of why it kind of all went away.
Was there oh, no, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, what you said, it was on-demand PD, so was there a Google form the teacher signed up on, or they just, you know, informally told JR, this is what we want?
By email, and there was probably, knowing JR, there was a Google form.
Yeah, he likes the Google stuff.
We had actually talked about, like, for example, one of the things I really wanted was Google Sites. There's really not a great classroom template, and I was really hoping that one of our kids would take on that challenge and create a template that all of our teachers could use as their classroom site. But now we actually do Canvas, and so we're not really going to be using, like, a Google site as a classroom site. We're all going to be on Canvas. But one of the things we did last year that I really liked was, at the beginning of the year, we have 2 staff development days, and heard it called speed geeking. It's kind of like speed dating, right? And so what we did is we made a brochure, and I can share you with both of you the brochure later. And we made a brochure, and then people had like 10 different choices every 15 minutes. And we did it all in one big, huge hallway, and so people were like just going from room to room to room, and then they would just learn something really quick. And about 5 of the sessions that people would rotate through were run by students. And one of them was on cheating. And the students we're actually talking to the teachers about how they cheat, but more importantly, why they cheat, right? And the kinds of lessons that promote cheating and the kinds of teaching that promotes cheating. And I think it was really eye-opening for teachers to hear, what are you doing as a teacher that makes us want to cheat? And they were extremely popular, and we're definitely going to be doing them again. And I like Lisa said, it's there's something about kids teaching. I mean, you know, you can say what you want about teachers, and oh, that teacher isn't into technology, or that teacher doesn't want to learn anything new. But pretty much, as far as I know, every teacher likes people, and they like kids. And so to hear kids talking in front of them, I think it just gives everybody a smile, like, hey, these are our kids, and hey, that's my kid, right? And they're talking to everybody, and everybody's learning, and I'm so proud of them because I'm their teacher, even if I'm not their tech teacher. And so it's really effective. Like, I think if you could just in some way grab a group of kids who are willing, you know, and find, I mean, to me, just if you document what they're doing, right, and share it out and celebrate what they're doing, that right there fires up a lot of kids, right? And you don't really need to do much more than that. But I mean, if you want to do more, if you want to have T-shirts for all of them, if you want to make it a group that meets regularly so they become kind of a club and so that there's that community building within them. But I mean, what I really love is I love what Lisa and her group is doing. Like this year, I think that that's completely amazing.
You keep cutting out.
I'm cutting out?
Yeah,
yes.
Bit.
Oh no. Is it because, am I cutting out now?
No.
Oh, it's probably because I'm fidgety.
Just
okay.
like
I'll quit touching the computer. It's like sitting on my lap and I keep moving. Sorry. That's why I started teaching, because I can actually like move around while I work. You know, another thing we had is we had a student, one of our students, Jafra, and she actually, well, in all of my classes, my students, they blog and then they share out their learning with people, and we really encourage them to contact people who are creating content. And so she was actually able to, she annotated a book that a teacher was annotating. She annotated the teacher's annotations, and then it got back to the original person, who's Austin Cleon, who does Show Your Work. And she ended up actually getting to, she met with Austin Cleon in a Google Hangout, and he's like a New York Times best-selling author because of her willingness to share her expertise and to share her work and things like that. So I think kids, they'll start seeing right away if you're having them do real things, right? Like, it's not just having them in their room doing a computer science class or in their room learning about Google or whatever, that they're teaching it, they know that that's a real skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's a really important thing to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the school year this year, I had a couple of my kids who are in Honor Society create how-to tutorials for, like, you know, how to get on Edmodo, how to use My Big Campus, and I was thinking more, and they were using Educreations for their,
yeah.
you know, to record their thing, and they did a great job. I mean, this was, I have the kids for a semester, so I don't have them for a full year, but I can pack a lot in 20 weeks, and so they created the how-tos, and I can see that almost being relevant for teachers as well, although I think the face-to-face would make the teachers more comfortable because they could have students there to kind of show them. But I think, you know, there's other teachers where they don't have time, but they, you know, might benefit from, you know, kids recording tutorials and then hosting it on the class website, or not class, but like school website that's, you know, and it's kind of out there. And, you know, my school, we're very new to, I'm not new, but my school is very new to, you know, integrating technology. So I was thinking maybe something small like that. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it drives me crazy that we have a video class, and that video class, they have a YouTube channel, right? But the school should have, every school should have a YouTube channel, right? Because there's lots of kids who can create content besides just the kids in the video journalism class, right?
Right.
And so for you to be able to take that content, and then once it's up there, for them to be able to share it with people. If people are like, well, what'd you do in high school, or do you have any experience with this? That those kids could point to your school's YouTube channel and say, that's my video, right? Like either I recorded it, or I did the, the titles on it, or I spoke in it, or I did the research for it, whatever. You want as many pointable and shareable things on your school's website or your school's YouTube page as possible, so kids can show people what they've done.
Right, and I think and I remember seeing something from your school, David. One of your girls, I missed being in that video class where she did a great montage of all the activities for the school year.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking a kid made that. I mean, it was just awesome. And so, I think you mentioned it. It's important for or maybe Lisa mentioned it. It's kind of like the kids can put it on their resume. They don't have one, right? But they can start building it, saying, well, I started, recording tutorials or doing PD when I was 14. I mean, or 15. I mean, it's just kind of cool that we can get them started in something that will have real-world application.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Lisa, are there some ideas that you have of where you want to take this, or what you're thinking about doing?
Working right now to get a MinecraftEDU group started for my Digital Divas so that they can actually bring Minecraft to other schools, and how to set up MinecraftEDU and how to set up servers and how to do it so that how they integrate it into their academics. And so we're starting a new project that way, and we're actually thinking about charging for it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and then what would you do with the money?
Buy more licenses for Minecraft. It would probably help them actually build out more things and get more apps and programs so that they can teach more stuff to the K through 8s.
Does your school have a video journalism class?
No, I am the tech at my school.
Okay. Okay. So you need somebody to make a video about your team.
Yes. Are you volunteering?
I wish. We could, if you want to pay for it, we could send some kids up that are pretty amazing. They would probably love to go up there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that. Listen, why can't students go to other districts and do PD, right, and get paid for it, and then see that? And the reason our video journalism class is so good is that they hit a certain level, right? And then that's the expectation. And then when the kids come in, it's just perpetuating, right? They just like teach them the new kids, and you just kind of get it going. And so once you have that level where people know that the Digital Divas are going to provide exciting, invigorating, memorable, PD, then that's it, right?
Yep. Yeah, so. And it's funny, they have like a following. It's pretty.
Do you have a hashtag?
No, we need one. We'll be the hashtag Digital Divas.
Yeah, double check and make sure that might be used somewhere. It seems like it might be kind of a little bit of a common hashtag, but you should have a hashtag, absolutely, that people can find, because you guys might be posting stuff on Facebook or Twitter or Google+, and then you can find all your content there. Do you guys have a website?
No.
Okay.
They have their own little. They use Google Sites to make for their presentations.
Okay.
But they have actual sites to talk about what they're doing. But that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing, though, is I don't have them as a class. These are kids that I had for a mid-session for 1 week, and then if they want to do it, then they have to come. Like right now, I have a girl coming tomorrow. She's actually presenting at Merit. And so today we had to go over her presentation. So, I mean, it's her day. She's on summer break, and she's totally so.
Could it be a class?
How I have it set up next year is I have any of the students that have study hall, I'm pulling them. And so, because they have we're on a block schedule, so I'll have at least a couple girls a week, and then I have one of the girls who actually signed up to be my teaching assistant. She'll be doing a lot of the planning and creating of the curriculum and doing it.
Okay. So, Katherine, as you're listening to all this, what are some ideas you're coming up with?
Well, I'm taking notes. That's why I'm looking off the screen. Well, I'm glad, Lisa, that you said that it wasn't a class, because I was already thinking, how do we do that? Because we don't have our master schedule is pretty full. Our after-school program is also pretty full too, unfortunately, with intervention. But those kids that would be doing it, I don't necessarily think would be in intervention. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe we could put together a small group of kids, and those honor society kids, those are the ones that came, you know, after the last day of school to help me clean up my classroom, and they were the ones that made the tutorial, and all on their own. I mean, I just said, you know, can you do something for Edmodo? Can you do something for my big campus? And so I think I can get those kids because they could get community service hours, and then they're also practicing really good technical skills as well. And I love the idea of actually going to our feeder schools, because our elementary schools in my district, I think, get the shaft because we don't have a tech department. So I don't know who's going out, probably no one, to the elementary schools to teach them how to do things. And I think, you know, what a great way to, you know, kind of connect with other schools and have my kids go out and teach them how to use, you know, Google Docs or any, you know, actually our elementary schools are all pretty much buying iPads. And my kids are pretty proficient in the iPad apps. You know, we're pretty new to Chromebooks, and I don't use a laptop since I have iPads, but I think that's a great idea to go to other schools to do that. So, on my list.
The really great thing, too, is we've partnered with one school who actually offers them an internship certificate. So at the end of the year, they have a certificate that says they did this internship all year, and it's every other week. So they have a week where I can train them, and then they go the next week and they present, and they push into the classroom. So they're working with the students and the teachers. So for us, that's really great because it's a marketing thing to show, you know, what, oh, holy names, girls are really smart and intelligent, and they know what they're doing. And they can also teach teachers how to use the tech and integrate it into the curriculum. And so it's been great, and I'm hoping to develop it a little bit more to reach a bigger audience, but you know, that's part of their job too.
Are the kids missing, so they're missing class to go to the other schools to do the tech PD?
Last year they didn't miss class because we had a period called co-curricular, and so I took them during that. And so basically like a club/activities time, and so I took them during that time and set that up with the schools. Next year, though, it'll be during the study hall period, and it's a block schedule. It's about an hour and 40 minutes that I can take them.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, one more thing. So we had talked about student-led PD for teachers and then student-led PD for parents. And I just wanted to say one thing real quick, and I saw Lisa's eyes light up really big. One, if I was thinking about, you know, if kids make these videos, right, just very short. First of all, I think when you make PD videos, if you can just make them 1 or 2 minutes, very focused, people are much more likely to watch them. But imagine kids making PD videos. First of all, parents are going to want to watch that, right? Every parent wants to see their kid, and then they're going to share it on Facebook and everywhere else. But also you can have kids do stuff in their home language, right? And so you have parents who are really struggling with new technology and then finding out what's going on. And now you can have kids help the parents in their home language, have it there on your school site and a YouTube channel. It would be amazing to be able to watch something like that. And then the district doesn't have to put it together, and the teachers don't have to put it together. The kids are putting it together, and once again, it's a thing to put on a resume, to show to a college, to share with other schools. And I mean, listen, if there was some great PD in Vietnamese on using Google Drive, I mean, I'm sharing that. I'm not even at your school.
Yeah.
Right? And so just what a wonderful opportunity.
That's a great idea.
I agree.
That just made this whole session right now.
David, is YouTube open in your district?
Yes.
Lucky.
It is not in my wife's district.
Where does she work in? She works in Orange County, obviously.
She works in a feeder district that feeds into both yours and my districts. I'm not gonna name them publicly, but not only do they not have YouTube, they don't have any streaming services, even though they subscribe to Ustream.
Oh. Yeah, that's what happens when IT people make decisions.
Yes.
And they're not in the classroom, because we struggle with that. We struggle with that as well. YouTube is blocked in my district, so when the kids want to access something, they have to do it at home. You know, when they post their projects on YouTube, I can only watch it at home or on my cell phone. That's not on the school Wi-Fi.
We had people go to school boards. We had people inundate the IT. It became a point where it's just a crucial part of teaching. And so you've got to make things uncomfortable, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Right. And so to me, if it's important enough, then you got to make things uncomfortable for people. And having parents and students and teachers show up at the school board will help the process. It also helped that our head IT person retired, and the person who took his place had been a classroom teacher. And when you get somebody who is a certificated instructor in that position, things change. That helped as well.
Well, I think Jamie Cassett from Google says, he said it at a couple of his keynotes, is, you know, when we teach our kids to cross the street, we don't take the cars off the road.
Absolutely.
So I think like the best way to educate your director of technology is to say, you know what, you don't take the cars off the road. We have to make it a teachable moment for the kids.
And if kids make mistakes, when kids graffiti on the walls, we don't take away walls. When they graffiti on desks, we don't take away desks. Right. The best time in the world for a kid to make a mistake is while they're still in school around adults who love and care for them, right? And who
totally
right. And so you want them to make their mistakes while they're in school so we can help them make better choices.
Yeah, right. Well, David, I think that when you mentioned, you know, making the PD and putting, you know, in their home language and stuff, I think that's a way to approach the school board and to approach, you know, anyone at the district office. You know, why don't we have a YouTube channel? We're trying to make things that are, you know, going to connect us with the outside community. So
equity. Oh, we don't want to be equal? Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I love that idea. I have all my notes. This is great.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up because I want you guys to get out of here in time to be able to sign up for your second sessions. And I want to thank both of you very much for being here today. And this is just, have both of you done it EdCamp already? Oh, yeah, Katherine, you've done EdCamp?
I lurked.
Okay.
I lurked during one.
And Lisa, you've done one?
I've done several real ones, never EdcampHOME.
Okay, oh yeah, I've done real ones. This is my
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like being on video, so this is actually way out of my comfort zone. Just.
Well, this is awesome, and this will be Creative Commons. So you can, if you just want to steal one little piece to share with someone, you can, and you can make it your own video and host it on your own site or anything else like that, and anybody else can do that. So districts out there, please enable YouTube so we can have equity for students and parents, and people can learn from our students. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for moderating. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Lisa, for your information.
Thank you. It was hearing. Thanks.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.